Hello, and welcome to an introduction of SmartBook. SmartBook is an adaptive reading assignment and experience students get when they use McGraw-Hill Connect. SmartBook will be available for the Introductory Chemistry, An Adam's First Approach by Burge and Dreesen. SmartBook encourages students to read a little bit and then practice what they've read. Students might pick up a textbook and go to read Chapter 2 and read Chapter 2 from start to finish. That's not the best way for students to store content into long-term memory. So what SmartBook does is it presents pieces of content, encourages you to read a little bit, maybe read a couple pages, and then after you've read a few pages, then it's going to encourage you to practice. In the practice area, we're able to see different questions, and these questions are going to tie back to those highlights and content that we've read. As we're going through and answering the questions, it's also going to ask us, do you know the answer? SmartBook is built around the awareness and the metacognition of how well or what you think you know. Depending on the answer the students give, but also how well they think they know the answer, that really helps determine the learning path for the student. I can also look at a learning resource that would help me understand this concept. By using the learning resource, it will help walk me through the process of understanding this concept. So I can look at the learning resource and then go back and answer the question. As I've made progress through SmartBook, I can then go look at some of my learning reports. These are reports that students receive. On the instructor side, you also get very similar reports. For example, we'll look at the most challenging learning objectives. As a student, I can go back into Chapter 4 now, How Chemists Use Numbers. I can now understand the specific learning objectives that I'm struggling with most. So as a student, I know where I need to spend my time studying. From the instructor point of view, with the most challenging learning objectives, you actually get a report on the top 5 things your entire class is struggling with. Another resource you receive are actually the missed questions. So as a student, I was able to first see what are the most challenging learning objectives, but now what are the missed questions? What questions really gave me an issue? One final report that we'll spend some time looking at is I want to show you the self-assessment. The self-assessment really ties back to when the students were answering the questions and they had to answer how well they knew the answer. So for example, in this report, you can see how aware or unaware I am as a student. 57% of the time, I'm unaware that I don't know the answer, unaware that you knew the answer. So for example, 29% of the time, I'm saying that, no, I probably don't know this, but I get it correct. One final thing I'll point out is the library tab. This library is actually a library of all the learning resources that are available with the Burge Dreesen Introductory Chemistry Adam's First text. These learning resources, you may remember, were integrated into the SmartBook and into the questions, or gave us the option if we wanted to use the learning resource. Now with this library, as a student, if I know on there's specific topics that I'm struggling with, I can come into the library and then search for those. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video on SmartBook. And remember, you're more than welcome to attend an upcoming webinar to learn more about Connect and SmartBook with learning resources.